landscape architecture things. Pardon my spelling. So yeah. So the first question we have is, why should we have, or why do we have a universal symbol for plants in the landscape design? Michelle.
So it doesn't matter like where you're from or whatever. If you're a landscape architect, you know that this symbol means this thing, and that way not everyone's confused.
Right, exactly. So some of us may be going into a future landscape design class or whatever. If you have, just like Michelle said, if you have one symbol, like what these are on here, you can tell what it is from somebody else. It doesn't matter if you have a legend or a key or anything like that. It just gives you the opportunity to know exactly what it is. So in front of you, I handed you a bunch of stacks of paper that have pictures on them. The copy just did not come out very good in black and white. But you'll notice that there's a picture of an actual plant and then a picture of the symbol like what's on the board here. We are going to match them together, and we're going to put them in our notebooks for future use, for plant identification and for landscape architecture design. So the first plant we're going to talk about is Asplabel. There's the actual scientific name. There's some facts that are it's a herbaceous. It's around 2 to 4 feet in height. And as you can see, there's big flowers on it. Big fluffy flowers. So the first one we're going to look for is something that is number 1. So that'll be our first picture that pairs them together. If you want to pair them together now, you can. That's kind of the way I would do it. And if you want to write the name of the actual plant next to it so you remember what it is for later, that's how I would do it as well. Something that might jog your memory for future quizzes or tests that could be a part of it. So the next one we're going on to is the columbine, which is actually a really pretty flower that I found is really good. That's going to be number 2. It's a herbaceous perennial, just like the last one.
Can you slow down? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I have no idea what these are all. Can we go back to 1 so we can write it down?
Yeah. So Asplabel is a pretty tall plant, so you're going to kind of want it near the back of your garden or wherever you're doing, so that way it doesn't overshadow the other plants. Because if you put this in the front of your garden, you're going to have a really hard time seeing the plants that are behind it, the smaller ones. We all good? Okay now?
Sure.
So the second one, like I said, is columbine. It's a small, very small plant. And that's going to be number 2, which is a little squiggly circle with a couple lines going up through the middle with some circles on top of it. Very small plant, so you want that closer to the front of the garden so you can actually see the colors when it flowers. Little bushy and has the small stalks for the flowers coming up through the center. So bleeding heart fringed leaf, which is number 3 on our list. It's a medium-sized plant that would do well between the columbine and the Asplabel. It blooms between April and July. And that's, like I said, number 3 with the little, well, mine has red in it, but that's okay. So hosta. Hosta is one of those that it's a really beautiful plant. Deer love it, which kind of makes it hard for gardeners because it attracts your deer. That should be number 4 in our key, which follows along. It blooms between May and July, so this is a really, really good idea if you want summer plants flowering. Flowers don't really grow necessarily very well in the summer, so it's one of those that all of these plants are going to be really good for summer flower plants. So the Japanese painted fern, that will be number 5 on our list of plants. It's very spiky looking in the drawing and has some lines going up through it representing ferns. As you can tell, that it is a pretty short plant. It doesn't flower though, so you're just looking at the color of the fern. And then coral bells is number 6, and that is a round squiggly, the last one on our list today. blooms from June to July, and height is 1 to 2 feet, so it can be, again, one of those that can fit in the middle of the plant, or in the middle of the garden. So what we need to do is we need to be able to recognize the symbols, we need to be able to recognize the plant, and then know some growth habits about each of these plants. So when we're looking at landscape design, if you have just a picture of a plant or you know what the plant is, then you can draw the symbol for it and put it in a legend or a key for future use. Or vice versa, if you know the legend or the key, you know what the plant is. So for our quiz, I'm going to have, we're going to start on the end here, and I'd like you to draw the symbol on the board for me without using your notes for number 1. And I'll put the actual plant up here.
Can we see the visuals on there? Because these ones just look like blobs, please. First, thank you.
So I'll give you guys a little bit of chance to look this over. You'll only be looking through this half of the design. And then, Michelle, I'm going to have you draw what it is and tell me the name of the plant. All right. And then I'm going to get rid of this here in just a couple seconds. So if you want to take the actual plant up there, Michelle, you could do that.
Doesn't matter if I do it all in one color or do it on the
You can do it all in one color, it's fine. Good job. Kelsey, you get number 2.
Okay. Do you want us to write
Do you want me to write
the
the
number
name on
or
there?
just?
Number or name, either one. I mean, it's,
Okay.
if I put the slides back up, I kind of give away what the name of the plant is, so. Cody, if you're following along, you get number 3. Kelsey, you get 4. Mel, you get 5. Emily, you get 6.